Happy Halloween, dear viewers. I'm Greg, but there's precious little time for pleasantries as the mine stage begins with the most puzzling moment of the entire game. The mine up ahead is locked, and you need to stop by the Transylvania stage to take a key for coming in. It's not like this is the last time you visit Transylvania, but it is the only time you exit a stage without beating the boss. For starters, you can't find the mine key until you start up the mine stage. The key just plain doesn't appear in Transylvania unless you transfer there from the mine stage. So it's not like they're barring your access to the mine stage because you didn't explore enough in Transylvania. It seems like there are two possible outcomes from the Transylvania transport. First, maybe you've played this game before, or you just make a lucky guess, and you find the key right off the bat. I mean, it is the first mirror in the stage. Second, if you don't know what you're doing, it seems like it'd be mighty easy to get lost. I'm not sure what to do with that. One way, it's a trip so short that it's nigh on pointless, and the other way, it's an obtuse side trip that's irrelevant to the mine stage at hand. It helps to have played Transylvania before the mine stage. If you've played Transylvania, then you know that mirrors transport you places. If you go straight to the African mines, you might get yourself lost before realizing what mirrors do. Heck, if you haven't cleared Transylvania before hitting the mines, you can kill Magica without grabbing the mine key. Then you just gotta go back to Transylvania to find the mine key anyway. Well, it at least makes the world of DuckTales larger. All the stages in DuckTales are connected in an abstract way because they're all a part of one progression from linear stages to explory stages, but this is a more concrete connection. Transylvania becomes relevant to the African mines in the most literal way possible. And I think it might be best left at that. It's a neat one-off that gives the game an interconnected feel without some big side quest like finding all the armor pieces in Mega Man X. Or, instead of armor pieces in Mega Man X, I could say all the gyro upgrades in DuckTales 2. Anyway, this is one of the shortcuts through the mines. On the far right of this room is a chain that'll lead you right down to the boss, but we won't be taking it since I want to show off more of this stage. This is one of my favorite passages in the game because it takes full advantage of Scrooge's pogo bounce. When you take the idea of Mario bouncing and throw in the precision of Mega Man, you can do crazy things like hop over several guys across a huge chasm. It also lends the area a sense of secrecy. It looks like an unbridgeable gap, so there's a real sense of discovery when you make that leap of faith and find enemies below to help you across. It is also great because not only is your reward in score with the hidden treasure, but you're also rewarded with a really fast way through the stage if you take the shortcut I passed up. Speaking of shortcuts, we just went through the other shortcut offered by this stage, bypassing a huge rolling ball of death, and we're about to uncover the third giant chest in the stage. Before moving on, I want to mention that you do get a hint for that leap of faith that makes the first shortcut. If you've played this stage before, then you know those green guys have a tendency to leap up from bottomless pits. Plus, if you can't go any farther right, the screen usually stops scrolling. If the screen scrolls past the edge of a cliff, then that means there's gotta be something on the other side. Anyway, this stage is long and winding, with treasures and shortcuts galore. At this point, DuckTales is starting to make exploration integral to navigating its stages. Maybe it's not necessary to uncover the shortcuts, but your exploration will reward you with alternate ways through the stage. In the previous two stages, exploration would give you more cash, but rarely would it change the path you have to take to the end. Between the Amazon and Transylvania, there's one shortcut. It's in the Amazon, and it's right at the end. In that sense, the African mine is an exciting stage at the heart of DuckTales' move towards exploration. The action in the stage is similarly exciting, with large boulders to dodge, beds that you have to fake out so they crash into the ground without hurting you, and of course, it's always fun to bounce on the green guys to get across bottomless pits. Plus, there is that minecart segment where you get to kill Scrooge's nephews. In the end, my reading of the African mines depends on the player playing stages from top to bottom. After all, it can't be the midpoint between the linear Amazon and the open-ended moon unless you play it between those two stages. I'd be interested to find a reading that makes sense of getting to choose the stage order. An argument that says every stage works just as well as the first, second, or last stage that you play. It's the kind of thing that makes sense in Mega Man, right? There, it's just a matter of which powers you want to take into what stages. There's not really any development of ideas from one stage to the next. By and large, Mega Man doesn't have that abstract link between stages that DuckTales does, or at least until you get to the Wily stages. You know, it reminds me more of Space Harrier 2. In that game, you can start off with whatever stage you please, but it doesn't work there either, since Stage 12 is most definitely the hardest and most developed stage, and Stage 1 is without a doubt the easiest and the one that makes for the best introduction. Granted, I do appreciate it. In Space Harrier 2 and in DuckTales, the stage select let me practice the stages without having to work up to them. I could study them on their own out of context. And if I get good enough at the stages out of context, it's that much easier to go through them in a row and experience everything in the proper context. Well, whatever the proper context means. I don't want to shock anyone, but I don't have anything to say about Armored Armadillo Jr. here. I guess I should bring up last week, though. Remember the time I thought it would be hilarious to make the Transylvania episodes comic relief episodes? Apologies all around on the house. Anyway, be well, do good work, and keep in touch.